Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. I'm looking at a book this morning which has come to us from Edward Elgar Publishing Limited. They're a family business covering, as an independent business, covering national and international matters. And they look at a very substantial area of work which is very much to do with the graduate, postgraduate areas of activity, scholastically, academically and so forth. This book is no exception. It's Genetic Resources and Traditional Knowledge, and it's very much a book for the 21st century. No question in my mind about that. You can see the front of the book, the side and the back. It's been edited by two people, Tania Bubela and E. Richard Gold, and it's part of the Elgar Intellectual Property and Global Development series. And the subject matter of, obviously, of genetic resources and traditional knowledge is actually combined together in case studies and conflicting interests. And what it says about the book is that it's a fascinating study which describes efforts to define and protect traditional knowledge and the associated issues of access to genetic resources, from the negotiation of the Convention on Biological Diversity to the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and the Nagoya Protocol. And drawing on these experiences and the expertise of local specialists from across the world, the chapters judicially mix theory and empirical evidence to provide a deep and convincing understanding of traditional knowledge, innovation, access to genetic resources and benefit sharing. And I think, in fact, they've succeeded very well with the book. It's under 400 pages long, you'll be relieved to hear. There is, in fact, a useful index, not a big one, a smallish one, but a useful one nevertheless. You've got conclusions at the end of each chapter, which I find very helpful. Lots of detailed footnotes for the research elements. And as I say, when you go through it, you will see a very substantial amount of information. One that took my interest were Aboriginal rights, which are very much part and parcel of the continuing views by the responsible nations of where we're actually going. What I did find helpful with this book, in addition to that, were the tremendous number of contributors who have actually put in a lot of effort to produce work of a very high caliber. You can see some of them listed there. Do read the introduction by Tania and Richard, because they actually set out, and I'll just read briefly what this is all about. Indigenous peoples possess internationally recognised knowledge in areas as diverse as conservation and agricultural practices, classification systems, land use practices, and sustainable management of natural resources, healthcare practices, and medicinal properties of local species. Because of the value of this knowledge, both indigenous peoples and commentators have been concerned about its exploitation by non-indigenous peoples. We all know in practice what that means, and I'm not going to start mentioning it for fear of any difficulties, but what I will say is that I think this is a very valid contribution to where we're going to be going in the 21st century, because this is an awakening, if you like, an awareness of the problems. It's written in a fairly high style, but at the same time I think it's a very interesting and exciting area that we're actually embarking on. So can I thank Edward Elgar and the two editors and the contributors to what is an important debate, certainly for the rest of this century. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.